So come on now, listen to me properly. I have this sum wherein I have been given a box. Okay? Where you've been given this box. Whenever they've given you this box, that means they're asking you to do allocation or apportionment. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever you have this box, that means either allocation or apportionment has to be done. And this allocation or apportionment has to be done on what basis? On suitable basis.
Okay.
Okay. This is for calculating the total overheads for each production cost center. Now, if you can see, how many production departments do you have? How many production departments do you have?
1 minute.
Read properly. How many production departments do you have?
2.
Two. So you have two production departments. So you have two production departments. How many service departments do you have?
2.
2.
Two. So you have two service departments and you have two production departments. So you have to do allocation and apportionment of the production department or service department cost on suitable basis. Okay. So these are all your overheads and this has to be distributed over here on suitable basis. So now I have indirect wages, repairs, rent and rates, machinery insurance, premises insurance, electricity, power, depreciation and consumables, and you have to find suitable basis for all of this. Can you tell me the suitable basis to distribute indirect wages? Suitable basis to distribute indirect wages. Wages. How will you distribute indirect wages? Can I say the suitable basis to distribute indirect wages would be the number of employees?
Yeah.
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 Repairs and maintenance of machinery.
Machine costs.
Rent and rates.
Floor area.
Okay. Machine insurance.
Direct machine hours.
Can I say the insurance would depend upon the costs?
Yeah.
So machine insurance would be upon the machine costs.
Okay. So you can repeat.
Now tell me about premises insurance.
Floor area.
Premises insurance would be floor area. Electricity.
Power usage.
Sorry? Yeah,
Power usage.
power usage.
Power usage.
Depreciation of machinery.
Usage of machinery.
Machine costs, not
Yeah.
usage of machine. And consumables?
Miss, direct machine hours won't be in depreciation of machinery.
By
Because we
machine
are
costs. Machine costs.
okay.
The hours you will use to calculate overhead absorption rate.
Okay.
Okay. And consumables, they have given directly.
Yeah.
So can you tell me for consumables, it is apportionment or allocation?
Allocation.
For consumables, it is apportionment or allocation?
Allocation.
allocation. So now what do you have to do? You have to do apportionment and allocation of these expenses over here. This is the first level of apportionment and allocation. So you will use this and do your allocation. Come on.
Okay.
I'm just copying down so that you know what is to be done.
So, Miss, in cost, we just write indirect wages. Okay. Yeah.
There's cost, basis, and the 4 departments. So I'm pausing the video. You all will complete the first level allocation. First level allocation is that means up till consumables. You will do everything.
Okay.
Okay? So do up till consumables and I will teach you reapportionment. This is 20,000 and it has to be distributed on the basis of number of employees.
Yeah.
So if you see your total number of employees is how much?
1
What is your
minute.
total number of employees?
So, you'll add all of them, or you'll
Just to
take
add
a
all of
ratio
them.
and then you'll
Yeah,
take.
number of employees is
70
okay.
plus 104 plus 16 plus 10. So you have 200, right? So you will do
Okay.
20,000 divided by 200 into 70 for machining department because the number of employees in machining is 70. Similarly, 2120 divided by 200 into 104 into 16 and into here you have 104 employees, here you have 16 employees, and here you have 10 employees. So indirect wages, the total of your indirect wages is being apportioned on the basis of number of employees. So total will be your division, you will divide it into that many parts and multiply it with the number of employees that you have.
Miss, you're on mute. Miss, you're on mute.
Yes, there is a confusion. Even you all remember. Basically, we say that anything that is related to machine, the non-current asset has to be divided in the ratio of their costs. Okay? But there is one exception to it, and I always miss this exception is whenever there is repairs and maintenance of machinery, write it as a note for you that whenever you have repairs and maintenance of machinery, the repair will happen based upon the use. So if you use more, there will be more repairs. If you use less, there will be less repairs. So repairs and maintenance of machinery, you will divide it upon direct machine hours. Usually the hours are used only to find out the overhead absorption rate.
Okay.
So repairs and maintenance to machinery, just highlight it. Machine hours. I always mess this up because our textbook says that anything related to non-current asset should be distributed on the basis of cost of non-current asset. But here this is correct. Repairs and maintenance based on direct machine hours.
Okay.
So this is when you complete your allocation and apportionment and you have distributed all the expenses on suitable basis. Are you with me?
Huh.
Okay. Now if you see over here, you have how many service departments?
2.
So you have one production department over here, production department 1 and 2, and you have service department 1 and 2. Tell me who's going to sell the ultimate product?
Service department.
Yeah.
Who's going to sell the ultimate product?
Service department only, no?
Who sells the ultimate product, the production department or service department?
Service department.
Oh my God.
Production department.
I need you to go and watch the video 1 and video 2 after I hang on this lecture. Who
Okay.
sell the ultimate product?
Production department.
Okay, production department, because production department is the one who produces the goods and services, is the one who is going to ultimately sell the goods and services, and the service department is going to just help the production department to do their work. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
The production department is someone who is going to produce the goods and services. They are the one who are going to sell the goods and services. Service department is just helping the production department.
Yeah.
Whatever is the expense of my service department, it has to be reapportioned to the production department on suitable basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever is the expenses of the service department has to be given to the production department. The production department will recover those expenses for the service department, and then they will give them behind. Are you with me? So I have these two service departments. One is the canteen department and one is the maintenance department. Can you see over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canteen department is giving services to all the three. 1, 2, 3. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maintenance department is giving service to only 2. So the one that has a blank, that service department reapportionment we do at a later stage. So first what we are going to do is we are going to reapportion canteen department cost to the people whom they are providing service. So we will reapportion the canteen department cost to these departments on the proportion that they have given over here. The proportion work done by each service department was 35:60:5. So what is the total?
100.
So we are going to reapportion the canteen department cost amongst these departments on suitable basis. So can you tell me the total of the canteen department?
The total of the canteen department.
Yeah, the entire cost of canteen department is going to get reapportioned. It is going to get reapportioned between these departments on suitable basis. So what is the total of the canteen department?
One minute.
This canteen department, the things that we found right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This. I already calculated. I doubt you'll have a calculator or no. How much time does it take?
I was confused about what to calculate. Now I got it.
Yeah, even I don't understand.
Okay. It's
You do the total of all these
107700.
and you have to find the total. So what is the total of the canteen department cost?
107700.
How you got 107700?
That's the total of. Oh, wait.
It's 113,700.
700. Yeah.
113,700 will go away from here. So you will remove from here. You will remove from here and you will distribute between 1, 2, and 3. On what basis? 35 is
Reapportion.
reapportion. This will be
Acha.
60 upon 100 and this will be 5 upon 100. You all will watch the video 1 and video 2 after I complete this lesson.
Okay.
So, Miss, you minus that 113700 from canteen, right?
Yeah.
And then you
And you minus it
reapply
because it's this
and
expense.
Because you have to remove the service department cost and give them to the production department, because they are the ones who are ultimately going to sell their product for you.
Okay. Okay, I got what canteen is for both this machine and assembly.
Same amount you got?
yeah.
No, like as the answer or both same amount.
Darling, 113,700 will be distributed amongst these three on the basis of which they are providing services to these three departments.
Yeah,
So this is the amount that you're getting.
yeah.
Yeah?
39,795, 68,220 and 5685. I got this. Now it's correct.
So whose cost will you reapportion?
Maintenance.
Now you will divide the maintenance department cost amongst the production
Machining and
department.
And
assembly.
Yeah, on
assembly.
suitable basis. That is in the ratio of 8:2. So
So
what is
first,
the total of maintenance department? You will do the total.
Okay, I'm doing. One eight six three
186,
three five.
yeah, 186335.
So this you will divide it amongst these two. This and this. In the ratio of 8:2.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. So first one is 149068.
Hmm.
And then second one is second one is 37267.
Yes.
Hmm.
So this is your budgeted overheads. Now what you get is what? This is your budgeted overheads. You got budgeted overheads?
So the totals of
All
machining
now
and
total of
assembly.
both the columns, machining
Department
and this.
and the total of the assembly department will give you your budgeted overheads.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
After you get your budgeted overheads, you will try to see whether your production department is machine intensive or capital intensive. You will try to see whether your department is what intensive, whether it is machine intensive or capital intensive. If machine hours are more, then it is capital intensive. If labor hours are more, then it is labor intensive. So if you see over here, come on, tell me, for the machining department, what intensive it is?
It is machine capital intensive.
It is capital intensive because what hours are more?
The machine
Machine
hours are
hours are more. So the
mm,
machining department is capital intensive. And
mm.
the assembly department has what hours more? Labor hours are more.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's labor
Labor
intensive.
intensive.
Okay.
Okay. After you know whether it is capital intensive or labor intensive, you will write their hours. Come on, for machining, it is how many hours? 202,500. And for assembly, it is 314,500 hours. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the fourth thing you will find is the overhead absorption rate. If it is capital intensive, you will get an absorption rate per machine hours. That means for every hour the product is in that department, I will charge that product based on the hours that that product has used. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to calculate overhead absorption rate. That means the rate that you're going to charge that product per hour that has been used. So how do you get the overhead absorption rate? You get that overhead absorption rate as budgeted overheads upon budgeted activity level.
Huh.
So what is your budgeted overheads for the machining department?
1396.
One. Yeah.
1396,963. And what is the budgeted activity level? 202,500.
500. Point में
Similarly,
आंसर
for
आ
the
रहा है.
assembly department, it is 1321,187 and activity level is 314,500. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will get your OAR. OAR is called overhead absorption
Absorption.
rate. What is it called?
Overhead.
Overhead absorption rate.
Rate. So it is budgeted overheads divided by budgeted activity level. And you will write it as dollar so and so per DMH means direct machine hours and DLH means direct labor hours. 1 mark to write this and 1 mark for DMH and DLH.
You get as a one mark for this?
Yes, that is why writing this is important.
Okay.
So we have to show working also.
Yes. So the very first thing you will always do is allocation, apportionment, reapportionment. You will reapportion first that department that is giving services to all three, then that department that is giving services to only two. The one that is a dash will be reapportioned last. Then you
Yeah.
will find out whether it is capital intensive or labor intensive. If it is capital intensive, then you will take machine hours into consideration. If it is labor intensive, then you will take labor hours.
Miss, what is the full form of DMH and DLH again?
Direct machine hours,
Machine hours, direct
direct
labor
labor
hours.
hours.
Okay.
Then you will find your overhead absorption rate. How do you get your overhead absorption rate? Budgeted overheads upon budgeted activity level.
And Miss, for the answer, we're supposed to write all the decimals that have come.
Up till 4 decimals is okay.
Okay.
So my answer is 6.8985.
Yes.
Okay.
The overheads, then you will see whether capital intensive, labor intensive. If it is capital intensive, then you will take what hours into consideration. If it is capital intensive, then you will take what hours into consideration?
The machining hours.
Machine hours. If it is labor intensive, then you will take what hours into consideration?
Labor
The
hours.
labor hours.
Okay. Then you will find overhead absorption rate. How do you get the overhead absorption rate?
You divide it.
Yeah.
Hmm?
No,
You
overhead
divide
absorption.
it.
Yeah, you divide the
What do you
budgeted
divide?
overheads by
Budgeted overheads by budgeted activity level.
Okay.
So what is your budgeted overheads?
The total.
And budgeted activity level?
500.
Machine hours or labor hours that you have considered. Are you with me?
Acha, okay, yeah.
Okay. So when the question comes, the first part in absorption costing is they will always ask you to apportion and reapportion. I'm sure you're clear with that. Okay, after you apportion and reapportion, the second part they will ask you to calculate OAR, overhead absorption rate,
Which you'll do by doing
which you
budgeted
will
overhead.
either get either direct machine hours or direct labor hours. You will get a rate that you will charge to that product each hour when they are in that particular department. Are you with me? Then they will ask you to find out whether you have over absorbed or under absorbed. What do you mean by absorbed?
Like overutilized or underutilized, something like that.
Okay, absorbed means charged.
Okay.
Okay, now understand. Supposingly, if my product it goes to the production department and I charge that product $1 per hour. Okay, $1 per
Yeah.
hour, and it takes 1 hour for my product to be made. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And I have made, say, approximately 14 lakh 30,000 units. Okay, what have I made? 14 lakh 30,000 units. This is the actual units that I have made. So can you tell me what will be the overheads that I will charge based on my OAR?
You will multiply it now. 6.89 whatever
In my
into.
example, it is 1.
Huh.
In my example, it is $1.
So what are you
Okay.
trying to find?
I'm trying to ask you if I had budgeted that my some expenses would be so and so, and I will use this many hours. And I found out an OAR, overhead absorption rate. And accordingly, I realized that if my product goes into the production department, for every hour that I'm going to use behind that product, I will charge 1 per hour based on my budgets. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Ashita, are you with me?
Yes.
Can you please switch on your video?
Yeah.
Come here, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Can you see?
No.
Why you come? Okay.
Say, for example, when I teach in Viranis or when I teach in any class, I think that for every hour Ashita will enter into my class. For every hour Ashita will enter into my class, I will charge her $300. And I have arrived at this figure based on my budgeted calculations of rent, electricity, notes, and whatever achra kachra she eats and whatever time she consumes. Okay. So based on my estimates, I had estimated that for every hour Ashita enters into my class, I'm going to charge her $300. This is called the overhead absorption rate. What is it called?
Overhead absorption rate.
Overhead absorption rate. Okay, and I felt that Ashita would not, would not study for more than 10 hours. I have multiplied it by 10. Okay, and I charge Ashita 3,000 per month. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Okay, that means I have, according to me, I should have recovered from Ashita how much? 3,000.
3,000.
But actually, Ashita was even chit chatting and she spent 100 hours in a month. Okay, or I will take the
30,000.
figure she sat for 20 hours. So I actually recovered from her 6,000.
You needed 6,000, but you got 3,000.
No. I have given her a rate of per hour.
Acha, okay, okay.
Okay. So I thought that I would recover from Ashita 3,000
Yes, but you
Yeah.
actually
based on
recovered.
my estimates.
Hmm.
But when I actually went and the actual things happened, I recovered from her how much? 6,000.
Hmm.
So tell me, have I over recovered or under recovered?
Over recovered.
I have over recovered. So when I over recover, I have over absorbed. What have I done?
Over absorbed.
Why did I over absorb?
You
Because I
recovered
worked
more than
for
your
more hours,
estimation.
right?
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah.
produce more number of units than was estimated. So the
Hmm.
next thing that they would ask you to find is whether your things are over absorbed or under absorbed.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so tell me, how will you calculate?
If it's over absorbed, like the amount that is over absorbed,
Huh?
6,000 minus 3,000.
No, now over here. Calculate the amount of overheads which have been over absorbed or under absorbed. Now come on, they are telling you, they're giving you some actual overheads. They're giving you actual factory indirect costs. Okay, machining department was what intensive?
Machining was
Capital.
capital intensive.
Okay, machining department was capital intensive and assembly department was labor intensive. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, machining
Yeah.
department was capital intensive and assembly department was labor intensive. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the overhead absorption rate that I actually calculated.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So now I have machining department and assembly department. Can you tell me the actual overheads for machining department? That means the actual recovery.
Oh, 11410. For what means the indirect cost, right?
Yeah, the indirect cost is the actual overheads.
Okay, so 1410000 then.
Okay. So the actual overheads for the machining department is how much? That means my actual recovery for the machining department is 1410,000. And for
Hmm.
assembly department is 1312,000. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I had estimated that I will charge them $6.8985 per
For-
hour that they use. So my budgeted overheads. Okay. So my budgeted actual overheads was how much? So budgeted
One
absorbed overheads. I could write absorbed overheads. What will I write?
absorbed over.
Absorbed overhead.
How do you get your absorbed overhead? Overhead
You do
absorption
the
into actual hours. What is absorbed overheads? Your overhead absorption rate into actual hours.
huh? Yes, but didn't you already find that overhead absorption rate?
So our overhead absorption rate is $6.8985.
Hmm.
Okay, that was based on my budgeted hours. But
Yeah.
now I have the actual hours, now, so I will multiply it with the actual hours.
Okay.
So machining department is what intensive?
Machine capital intensive.
So I will take which hours into consideration?
Machinery hours.
Machine hours. And for assembly, I will take which hours into consideration?
Labor hours.
Labor hours. So my absorbed overheads is how much for machining department?
It Miss, isn't it 202500?
You multiplied?
No, no. The multiplication you did 19500.
See, darling, I have calculated a predetermined rate.
Oh, so now you have the proper one, the actual.
Predetermined rate, I will multiply it with the actual hours, so I will come to know that actually how much did I recover.
Okay.
Ashita, are you with me?
थोड़ा है हम देखिए.
सुनो हमारे पास एक्चुअल ओवरहेड्स जो हमारा एक्चुअल खर्चा हुआ है ना, दैट आई नो दे विल गिव मी अ डायरेक्ट फिगर.
Huh.
But I have already predetermined and I calculated that per hour I will charge you 300.
Huh.
The 300 was my estimated hourly rate.
Yeah.
Okay, I estimated that I would spend approximately 300 per hour on you. But when you come to
Hmm.
my classes, 500 ka to Starbucks only you have.
Hmm.
So my actual expense behind you would be more.
Okay.
So you compare your actual with what you recover.
Okay.
So I would recover based on a predetermined rate. Predetermined rate is the overhead absorption rate.
Huh.
Okay.
Hmm.
To calculate the absorbed overheads, how would you calculate the absorbed overheads?
1345207.5.
Sorry,
1345207.5.
134. Are you sure you've got this figure?
Yes. Yep.
A6.8985 into 195,000.
Yeah.
1345207. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
coming to assembly department, Ashita, can you tell me what you'll multiply with what?
So I'll multiply this. 1 minute. No.
For assembly
I'll
department.
I'll multiply 1 3
What
1
is the
2
overhead absorption rate for assembly department?
4.2009.
First, you will take the overhead absorption rate.
Hmm.
Multiply it with the actual hours.
Yeah. So that will be 318000.
And you will take the actual hours depending upon whether it was machine intensive or capital intensive.
Yeah.
So, what is your absorbed overhead for this department?
1 minute, I am telling you. 1312000.
1312000.
No, I'm getting wrong answer.
Miss, I got 1335628.
Multiply na 4.2009 into 318,000.
Yeah, 1 minute, my phone calculator is showing weird
Why you
thing.
have phone calculator?
Because I lost my other calculator in school. I'm going to do chori, it's okay. 1335886. I got this.
1335
6 1335886.
886. Okay, fine. Now come on.
अरे देखो सेम मिला कि गलत?
Same.
Okay, now tell me.
So
My
decimals
actual
you don't put over
expenditure
here.
is this much, but I
Yeah.
recovered this much. So did I
So good
recover
only.
less or more?
More.
Oh my god. My actual expenditure is this much,
Yeah.
and based on my estimated rate multiplied by actual hours, I recovered this much.
Oh.
So
My
less.
actual was 1410, but I managed to recover only 1342 because I
Also, it's under recovered.
recovered. What have I done? Under recovered, so it is under absorbed.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. In this
Yeah.
case,
So for machining, it is under absorbed.
for machining, it is under
This
absorbed.
is over absorbed because more you got.
Your actual expenditure was 1312, but based on your estimated figure, estimated overhead absorption rate, and your actual hours, you have recovered 335,886. So you have under absorbed or over absorbed. You have over absorbed, or you could say you have over recovered. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, tell me what is the difference. What is the under absorbed or over absorbed amount? First one is 1410 000 minus 1345,207. So here you have
64,500. 64,500.
don't see the MS, it is 793.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you 2 tamach na and
I
send this to your father.
just don't do that.
Come on over here, under absorbed or over absorbed? 12,000 minus 13,35,886. 23,886. So you have over absorbed.
Miss, but now it's not matching MS. Now what to do?
It will not match MS because there is a difference in the points. We are taking only up till 4 points.
Okay.
MS is taking up to 5 points.
Okay, fine.
Okay?
Hmm.
So come on. First thing what you do? First thing what do you do? First thing what do you do?
In finding the first part.
Budgeted fixed overheads. First thing what do you do?
Okay. So you
You
find the
find the budgeted fixed overheads. What is the first thing that you do?
budgeted fixed.
Find the budgeted fixed overheads.
Then what do you do?
You see what intensive it is, if it's
It is
capital or
labor
labor.
intensive or capital intensive. How do you know it's labor intensive or capital intensive?
Compare it with,
If
like,
machine hours are more than,
it's capital intensive,
labor hours are more than.
labor intensive.
Ashita, how do you know whether it is labor intensive or capital intensive?
If machine hours are more than it is capital intensive, if labor hours are more than it is labor intensive, I know, miss.
Then what will you find?
Then you'll find the if it's over absorbed or under absorbed.
You will find OAR. What will you find?
Oh yeah, sorry. You'll
OAR.
find OAR.
How do you get the OAR?
Budget upon overhead upon budget. What was it? Budget overhead upon budget allocated.
Over budgeted activity level. How do you get the OAR?
Budgeted overheads upon
Whereas
budgeted
upon budgeted
level.
activity level.
How do you get the OAR?
Budgeted overheads upon
upon
budgeted
budgeted activity level.
Okay, this OAR is a predetermined rate. This is an estimated rate. The overheads are also estimated, and the activity, that is the number of hours, is also estimated. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then after that, what they ask you to calculate? Overheads under or over absorbed. What do you mean by absorbed?
Absorbed means like if you've reached
Recovered.
Yeah,
recovered.
like recovered.
Recovered your actuals or no. Okay. Absorb means what? Whether you manage to recover your actual expenses or no. So first you will write what? Actual overheads, your actual expenses. First, what will you write?
The actual overhead.
Actual overhead.
Actual expenses. Then what will you write?
The absorbed.
What did you
absorbed
recover?
overhead.
What did
Yeah.
you recover? How will you know what did you recover?
You'll take the OAR and then you'll multiply it with the whatever intensive it
Full
is.
activity level.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashita, what will you, how will you find the overhead absorbed?
You take the actual overhead, then you take the
You take the
OAR.
OAR.
No, first you take the actual overhead. You just
So
said.
I asked you a question. How do you find absorbed overheads?
Oh, you take the OAR, then you multiply that by the number of working hours.
Actual activity level.
Yeah, actual activity level.
Activity level can be units also. You have to read the question properly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then you will get what? Overheads absorbed. What will you get?
Overhead absorbed.
What will you get?
Overheads absorbed.
Overhead absorbed.
The actual is more and you have recovered less. Then
it's going to be under absorbed.
under absorbed. So if your answer is positive, it's under absorbed. If your answer is negative, you have over absorbed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can we give me the reason why overheads are under absorbed?
Underabsorbed is
Why over here the overhead is underabsorbed? Because your actual overheads is more than the estimated absorbed overheads, right?
yeah.
Yeah. The first reason why it is underabsorbed because the actual overheads was more than the budgeted overheads.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 Your actual expenditure was more than the budgeted expenditure. That is why it is underabsorbed.
Yeah.
Why this is overabsorbed for assembly department?
Because the covered
Actual
more than
expenditure
the
is less
actual.
than the budgeted expenditure.
Yeah.
Ashita,
Yeah.
why it is underabsorbed for machining department?
Because actual expenditure is less than the budgeted expenditure. I know this.
And why it is overabsorbed in assembly department?
Because it is more.
What it is more?
The expenditure is more than the budgeted expenditure.
What could be the reason of the actual expenditure being more than the budgeted expenditure?
Like
Quite
if
expensive.
like you gave that example now, like 500 ka if I do Starbucks and all like that.
Yeah, but now reason you have to give, na? Maybe, maybe my machining department did not produce that many units that it had to produce. So it did not
Yeah.
work for the planned hours.
Huh.
And when it is over absorbed, that means you've over recovered, so you've worked more than the planned hours. So when it is over absorbed, you have worked more than the planned hours.
Huh.
And when it is under absorbed, what will you say? You have worked less than the planned
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
You have worked less than planned hours. This will be the same reason you will write for anything. When
Hmm.
it is what? Under absorbed. What will you write? You have worked less than
Less
planned
than
hours.
yeah.
When it
Huh.
is over absorbed, you have worked more than the
More
planned
than
hours.
planned hours.
Huh.
Okay. Now listen.